Man, I haven't read philosophy in a minute because we've slowed down the cadence of these. And I think before when we were doing it maybe once every 2 weeks or more frequently, I got more accustomed to the thickness of these texts.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when I read these, what happened when I read this, is I feel
Phil Phails at philosophy.
the overwhelming feeling is anger. Yeah, it's anger. And then when I investigate that anger, because I know it's anger because I'm like, man, I'm trying to be all smart, right?
Right.
Trying to just
I
like,
laugh because I recognize this response.
oh, you have it too?
No,
Oh, you don't?
but my students do.
Yeah, of course they do. And so when yeah, I'm just like angry at like intellectualism and like, academic elitism. And I get all this stuff that really is just a crust over a sadness or a feeling of insecurity or an inadequacy
Mm-hmm.
at reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading sentences over and over again, and I'm just like, I still don't know what that means. Some of that stuff I probably just haze over in my eyes and just like suffer through paragraphs where I don't ever understand what the heck they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened with this chapter.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And I don't understand the winding road we got to whatever point is being made.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as a philosopher, he's working in a way that I think, yeah, it's going to be alienating to an audience who doesn't kind of know the larger framework in which he's operating, because he's making nods to those frameworks. He's introducing those frameworks, but he's not necessarily doing the work to explain the frameworks to you in a systematic way. He also, and this is talking about it itself, like we can think about the essay as a work of philosophy and whether a work of philosophy needs to be an argument. And there's kind of an argument here, but it's not like some of the other essays. And I think part of what's interesting about this book is you do get this very different set of ways to go about doing philosophy in terms of writing an essay in this. That's what, like, at the end, I like this book after going through it with you for a lot of different reasons. And one of the reasons I like it is it's actually a really good kind of snapshot of different, it's not exhaustive, right? It's not like everything's represented.
Yeah.
But different ways that academic philosophers engage in their work.
Well, because we have 8 different authors, 8 different philosophers.
And the editor, sometimes though, when you get a volume like this, they're all coming from the same style of writing, the same style of philosophy. They're from a particular school that has developed a certain, and this is traversing a lot of different kinds of ways of going. So some of them are very clear, like here's an argument, here's the 3 points.
Traversing?
Yeah, like traveling across.
Traversing,
yeah.
Traverse.
Yeah, it's like pillow.
Yeah, this one traverses a bunch of different. Yeah, I agree. It angers me in 8 different ways.
Yeah. So it is like I when I was reading, I read it. I read that opening section, and then I got to.
Let's go through this.
Yeah,
I kind of have a.
Well, I want to finish.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I read the opening section and just kind of. I went through the sources of resistance. It's pretty straightforward. The structural considerations, okay. And then when I got to the case for compassion, I just lost the plot, right? The first time I was reading it.
Yeah.
And I was rereading that and going back because he's making this sort of like very nuanced argument about how we decide to understand compassion with another philosopher, Martha Nussbaum. And he's kind of presenting your ideas, but not full. And I just I couldn't track it. So I put it down, right? And it was just like after probably the 3rd time of rereading it, I just put it down.
Yeah.
And said, I need to take a break from this.
You couldn't track it.
Right.
I couldn't track it either.
So I came back the next day, and then the next day I kind of reviewed a little bit of the first thing, and then I had a lot easier time tracking what was going on here. Some of it's just exhaustion, right? The amount of
exhaustion
work you need to do going through.
Right. I needed to start this a month ago. I read it maybe twice.
Right.
All the way through. and both times probably glazed over and really wasn't able to grasp each section, which is why I wanted to kind of go section by section and take the winding road that Peter D. Hershock takes us through.
Yeah, I think that's basically what I did in the second read, that helped me kind of get my head around what he's doing.